Yeah. The early bird gets the worm. Now we said 5 o'clock start, but we're gonna jump it off 6 minutes early. I got the stream up there. I'm gonna let it marinate a little bit before I start touching on the topic of the day. Sip a little bit of my water. A lot is going on though. A lot is going on. Canelo Alvarez, a free agent. You see the possible fight with Caleb Plant on the 19th in Texas, San Antonio, maybe Vegas. That's some major news. Gonna dive into that real soon. Real soon I'm gonna dive into it. That's some major news, man. And I'm really put my flavor on that real quick. Those that choose to take it, take it. You feel me? But shout out to Barbershop Conversations. I seen the video he did. He was saying that Jamel Charlo should have been rewarded for his loyalty. That just goes to show you how much that loyalty gets you over there. Because they talking about Kid a Plant getting the fight. No mention of Jamal Charlo. He been chasing Alvarez for years. And the icing on the cake, or I should say the cherry on top of the sundae, that makes it even a little bit more spicy or grimy. Courtney, what's going on, my brother, man? Shout out to Courtney Hickman, man. Cord, what up, man? Yeah, shout out to Cord, man. I appreciate you, brother. You highlight that. Courtney Hickman, man. Oh, what's up with what's up with De La Hoya and Canelo? They parted ways. They parted ways. He's officially a free agent. He's in rumors have it that he's in discussion with Al Heyman and Showtime to make a big fight. World Combat, what's going on, my brother? Scotty, what's going on, man? How you doing? Yeah, Courtney, he has a possible sources are saying that's a possible fight date with Caleb Plant on the 19th of December. Then I seen a video that Barbershop Fred did, and Fred brought up some good points. But you know how Fred is. Fred be throwing shade, but he's slick with it how he throws the shade. He was saying that that's possible. That date was supposed to be for Deontay Wilder. I don't know how true that is, but he was also stating that how on that day, two possible pay-per-views a week apart, 2 weeks apart, it's like a $500 cable bill. So I might cut into Earl Spencer's and Danny Garcia's pay-per-view. What's your thoughts on that, Courtney? What you think about that, Cord? What's happening, bro, on the split? Oh man, just chilling, man. What you think about them putting Canelo Alvarez on a possible pay-per-view card 2 weeks after Earl Spence? You think that's gonna affect Earl Spence's sales for a pay-per-view fight? Being that they always say that Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing, that's real interesting. Real interesting. But the most eye-opening thing is how Charlo's just coming off a pay-per-view. Texas. Charlo was a Houston, Texas resident. Wouldn't a fight with him and Canelo Alvarez in Texas be bigger than him in a fight with Caleb Plant in Texas? I'm just saying. I'm just gonna put it out there. Courtney said it sounds like a setup for Spence and Canelo. Maybe down the road, but I don't know if you've seen that the interview that Spence did with Brian Custer on the Custer's podcast, where he said he's not really trying to step on their toes. He knows that Jamal been chasing Canelo for some years. And he's really not trying to step on his toes when it comes to the Canelo fight. But nevertheless, Canelo Alvarez is on that side now, man. I want to see what type of purse he's gonna get, because if you follow the purses, man, Canelo's he requires a lot of money. He don't take no. He's not taking a $3 million purse for a pay-per-view fight. He's not taking a $1 million purse for a pay-per-view fight. So I would like to see what his payout's gonna be. Because Canelo fights for big dollars, man. So I want to see what type of check they gonna cut for him. Cause I know he's not. I know he's not going for no $1 million purse, $2 million purse. He demands big payola, big payola. He wants the big payout. World Combat says same as Floyd did towards GGG and Canelo. He popped him. Yeah, man. I forgot all about that World Combat. That's a yeah. See, that's smart play by Canelo. So you know what Canelo learned from Floyd, man. Canelo learned from Floyd, man. He learned a lot from Floyd from losing that fight. He got a little more craftier in the ring. Now look at his business sense. It's funny how he November today is the 6th, November 6th. He officially became a free agent a little ahead of a month before the next big pay-per-view on that side, the PBC side, and he's testing the waters, man. He's right now he's trending, to say the least. Because I was in a couple of the fight groups on Facebook, and it's trending all over. You got people, I saw they posting, and I post a comment, because me, I like to stir the water, see what's really going on. I posted a comment because you got all these fans that they love to, Lions only promotion, Lions only. So I just put it out there in the air just to see the reaction, to see what people will say. And I said, it's funny how you Lions only promotion type guys and fans be screaming how influential their company is they are, but why would they offer the fight to Caleb Plant in Texas? But here you have Lions only promotion from Houston, Texas, just coming off a pay-per-view, and there's no mention of him being in a discussion with the fight. It was strictly Caleb Plant. And I'm pretty sure I can't think of the actual article, but I'm pretty sure Jamal Charlo said he was willing to go up to 168 to fight Canelo. So that fight could have easily been made now. But it's just funny, man, the things that go on behind the scenes. It's real odd, man. It's very odd, you know? And barbershop conversation, even though he was throwing shade, a little slick shade, I'll say, he brought up a great point. Jamal Charlo has been loyal to Al Heyman, turning down possibly the biggest payday of his life in a fight when they gave him a offer sheet with Boo Boo Andres. So for 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 him to turn that down and to stay down and not take that fight, and then for Canelo to come over there and the negotiations open with Caleb Plant, I know people gonna put the spin on it that he just fought in September. Yeah, you think so? I don't know. Yo, World Combat, man. I knew people was gonna say that. But listen, when you got a big fight like that on the table, you've been chasing that forever. You're gonna take that, man. You're gonna take that. I'm gonna ask Buddy McGirt something about that tonight because nowadays it's like these fighters be acting like they need X amount of time. In Buddy's era, man, these guys was turning around like I think Cesar Chavez was fighting like every 2 months, every 3 months, man. So when a fight like that is on the table, man, you got to take it, man. You got to take that, man. Especially when you've been chasing that fight for years and years and years. He fought at the end of September. He was off all of October. It's November. But hey, all right. I appreciate you stopping through, though, Courtney. I appreciate you stopping through for the support, my brother. Yeah, you gotta tap in one day and get on here and do a solo, man. You know you got the vocals, man. You gotta drop give me a 16, man, an outro or something, man, that I could use, man. But I appreciate you stopping in on the Jak Talk podcast though, man. I appreciate that, brother. But yeah, like World Combat said, that is a tough turnaround. But when you got the biggest fish in the pond, you know, he's finally in your waters, sometimes you gotta just go get it, man. Can't wait, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you've been fishing those waters for years and years, and he finally comes to shore. Sometimes you gotta jump in that water and go get him, man. Yeah, it's a tough turnaround. This is the gladiator sport. It's a gladiator sport, man. Sometimes the greatest reward comes with the deepest sacrifice. That's a tremendous sacrifice, a deep sacrifice. But the reward, if you knock off Canelo Alvarez, the reward is the reward. The name says it all, man. They call him Cinnamon. The reward says it all, man. That's big, man. A Canelo Alvarez fight, Canelo Alvarez victory is big. Well, it looks like they're gonna give it to old Caleb. So they say so far. World Combat said more Charles mentality isn't like that to jump back in the ring that early. You're right, man. You're right. But I just had to just put that out there. That's a fact, man. That World Combat. You hit the ham on the nail. His mentality really isn't, man. I'm not gonna call him a prima donna, but he just that, like you said, that's just not his mentality. He doesn't. He's a lion. He doesn't have the dog mentality. Like a Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler would have jumped right on him, man. Ray Leonard would have jumped right on him. Like opportunities like that don't come around. Especially you've been chasing this guy for years and years, so you claim, you know. Sometimes you gotta go get it, man. It's right there in front of them, but they're gonna give it to Caleb Plant, man. That should be a good fight too, though. That should be a damn good fight. Now we'll really get to see what Caleb Plant is really made out of. We'll really see what he really brings to the table. Styles make fight. Caleb Plant is very, elusive, tricky. Uh, he fights like a brother, man. For other, he fights like a brother, man. He got a lot of rhythm, and I believe like the last rhythm fighter that Canelo fought might have been like a Floyd Mayweather, man. Laura too. Laura gave him some problems, so that should be interesting, man. That should be an interesting squabble if it happens December 19th. is the possible date. But like, I just still want to just keep going in on that, man. It's just shocking to me that they offer that fight to Caleb, man. You know, they just well, he didn't. I believe he targeted Caleb before when he was in between fights. He wanted to fight Caleb Plant when Caleb Plant had just came off a fight, and Caleb Plant refused it, saying that he needed more time. So it might be something that Canelo sees in Caleb Plant that got him comfortable, willing to fight Caleb Plant, man. You know, it might be something with Caleb Plant that got Canelo really, really comfortable wanting to take that fight. That's what I feel because there's other, you know, 160s out there, 168s out there. You know, you got David Benavidez. He didn't make weight, but he just fought. You know, you 168 is loaded. 160 is loaded over there on that PBC side. But for him to target Caleb Plant, maybe it's the IBF world title. Maybe it's something else he sees. You know, hopefully that's the fight that gets made, and we'll see. I do think if that fight does get announced and they do make it official, in my personal opinion, it is going to affect Earl Spencer's pay-per-view sale. Just being honest, you know, we all living in a pandemic time. You know, funds. Everybody doesn't have all the funds. You know, two pay-per-views in 1 month. You are going to be looking at a substantial gain on your cable bill. Another thing that I want to bring to the table that is also St. Nicholas, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Hanukkah, you know, whatever holiday you prefer to celebrate. So you got a lot going on that month. Now to throw in the mix two pay-per-view fights, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot of picking and choosing if that does be the case, that they make that fight December 19th and it's pay-per-view. You will have a winner and you will have a loser. Right now, if I had to say who the winner would be, Canelo's name does carry a lot of weight. And then when you look at it on the other hand, Earl Spencer's a rising star with Fox behind him. Fox does, in my opinion, Fox does a lot more promoting. Their promoting marketing plan, I say, is a lot better than Showtime. So he has the advantage, I feel, in the promoting and marketing with Fox. But as far as the name, Canelo's name carries weight. When Canelo has a whole country behind him, the Mexican people, Canelo is, I'm gonna say like this: Canelo is the modern day Julio Cesar Chavez. He is the face of Mexican boxing. The Mexican people rally around him. They support him wherever he fights. He fought at Madison Square Garden. I'll never forget that. When he signed with the Zone, he had Midtown Manhattan with a New York Knicks play. New York Knicks play. When I tell you, you would have thought it was. I've been to Puerto Rican Day parades. I've been to Dominican Day parades. When I tell you, when Canelo Alvarez fought at Madison Square Garden, I covered the weigh-in that day. Canelo Alvarez When you get off the train to go upstairs into Madison Square Garden, you would have thought that it was a Mexican Day parade. Canelo Alvarez at a weigh-in. This was the weigh-in. This wasn't even the actual fight night that Saturday. This was for the weigh-in. Canelo Alvarez had the Mexican community from the greater tri-state out there in numbers. I never seen that many people at a weigh-in. I covered multiple weigh-ins. I could run down names of weigh-ins I done covered from Spence Peterson, Brona Garcia, uh, the list just goes on, man. So many. Wilder Brazil, Wilder Stavern. Yo, when I tell you the weigh-in was free to the public, Canelo Alvarez, you would have thought it was the fight night. How many people showed up for Canelo Alvarez's weigh-in at Madison Square Garden? So when it comes to name and your country and your fellow countrymen, countrywoman getting behind you, supporting you, there's no question in my mind. Canelo got that sold up, sold up, sold up. And then on top of him fighting in Texas, Texas is a big Latin Mexican state. So it's going to get interesting. And they support their people, man. They support their people, man. So barbershop conversation. He might have been on to something in that video. Fred might have been on to something in that video, man. You know, I'm not gonna take nothing away from him. He might have been on to something. He's real slick with it. How he throws his shade, but at the end of the day, it might have been a little shade, but he was dropping a gem. You know, they could be setting Spence up for the fall with his numbers with the pay per view. The Canelo Alvarez fights 2 weeks after his pay per view. There's gonna be a winner and there's gonna be a loser. To get off subject real quick, I want to touch on Teofimo Lopez. I'm not gonna go in too much on him. You know, he said what he said in reference to calling the former world heavyweight champion out of his name. You know, I feel like this. He's young, 22, 23 years old. He's on the Ak and Barack show. Sometimes when the mic is on, the cameras is on, you know, you're doing your interview, you don't really think before you speak. I know he knows that Deontay Wilder isn't no bitch. You don't become the world heavyweight champion and and you're a bitch. You don't KO 40 plus men and you're a bitch. You know, we just live in that era nowadays where some of these younger people, I want to say, because you get it sometimes in these YouTube. You know, you go into these chats, these streams, and these younger guys, they just their their words that they choose to use sometimes they're not really on point. So I think Tio really didn't mean call Deontay Wilder a bitch. You know, I think he just got caught up in those words like a running back that the ball slips out his hand. What they call it, a fumble. I think he just fumbled on that, man. Because there's no way you become the world heavyweight champion and you knock out that many opponents and you're a bitch. That's all I'm going to say on that, man. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Oh, I got somebody reaching out for the stream. 1 second, give me 2 seconds. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. It's a beautiful Friday. You know, it's not too cold, not too hot out. I had to come outside and sit outdoors. My daughters are, running wild in the living room, man. I didn't want them to mess up my audio as I chop it up tonight. But a lot of stuff going on. We got the Haney fight tomorrow. Devin Haney Gamboa. Kind of interesting to see in the statement that Devin Haney makes. You also can't forget King Kong, man. We saw teasers fighting tomorrow night too, so can't forget him. You can't forget King Kong. He's still a formidable player in the heavyweight division, hard hitter. Still got Cuban skillful. Got that power, King Kong. Like to see what he does tomorrow night too. I'm eager, man. It's good times right now. Then we got more fights the following week too, I believe. So bubble boxing is alive and well. That's what I call it, bubble boxing. Tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. West Coast time. I'm gonna have the Hall of Famer, man, two-division world champion trainer, Buddy McGirt, man. I'm gonna pick his brain a little. Ask him a couple questions about some of these upcoming fights, his thoughts on it. Gonna ask him about my guy, Jak Tucker. I got a little. We work it. We work it, man. I got Buddy, man. So I had to come correct, man. I'm taking this very serious now, man. I'm taking this very serious Jak Talk podcast, very, very serious. So I did my notes. I got my questions and everything mapped out. What I want to ask, Buddy. We're gonna have some, raw boxing talk, man, with the champ, man. Champ. See, I'm getting used to this, man. I'm cooking it up today, man. Dropping that flavor, man. I've been on for almost 28 minutes, man. Cooking it up, man. Told you we was gonna tell some stuff. I just like to thank all my guests, man. That came in, man. That came in tonight, man. Shout out to my man Courtney, man. Courtney Hickman, man. Always showing love. Shout out to World Combat Sport. Showing love. You know the vibes, man. Jak Talk Podcast, man. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. That's 6 p.m. Central. Oh no, I'm bugging. That's 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 o'clock Western, man. We're gonna be blasting off Monday through Friday, man. We building, we rocking and rolling, and we working. I just appreciate everybody that was in the building tonight. I touched on my hot topic of the day with Canelo Alvarez shaking shit up. That's what he did, man. Canelo Alvarez released that statement that he was a free agent and he shook the boxing world up, So we touched on that. We touched on a possible fight with him and Caleb Plant on December 19th. We touched on the possible tidal waves that might send through the pay-per-view market for the month of December in regards with the Spence and Garcia fight. We also touched on what was real touchy with Teofimo Lopez calling the former world champion Deontay Wilder out his name. With that being said, I figure I covered all my topics. You know the vibes. Stay locked in with the real, raw Jak Talk podcast. Yeah, yeah. I holla.